Hello. I hope the Sunday has treated you well so far, and I hope you've treated it well. Done something useful, like wasting time, or cleaning up the house yet again, going for a walk. Today I'm going to do nothing but lullabies, not to put you to sleep, but just to talk about putting babies to sleep. The term lullaby, I feel, has sometimes been misused. It refers to any gentle song that mentions a baby. To me, a lullaby is a woman's work song. Putting a baby to sleep is work. And to me, the first thing it needs is rhythm. Well, the child's been in the mother's womb for 9 months and has had the repetitive beat of the heart. So rhythm and repetition are just the real thing. My daughter Kitty, my third child, she was a stay-awake child. She was awake for an hour, asleep for 2, then awake for 5 and asleep for 1, night and day for 2 years. It was exhausting. I had tiredness running through my bones like marrow. But I discovered that she would go to sleep quite quickly if I just did this. Repetition. By the time her little eyelids began to flutter, mine were shut already, and I was doing this literally like an automaton. So I found that was a little silly, so I made up a song called Lullaby for a Very New Baby. 1972, December. Oh, the summer was long and the autumn too, walking slow and weary, till the winter parted me and you. Hush-a-bye, my dearie. When my time was come and my time was gone, they laid you down so near me, and together we slept the whole night long. Hush-a-bye, my dearie. But my back is broke and my belly's sore. Your daddy can't come near me, and it's up all night to walk the floor. Hush-a-bye, my dearie. But though you keep me waking night and day, and your crying makes me weary, you're welcome as a flower in May. Hush-a-bye, my dearie. My darling girl, the world is wide. I know it's bound to fear me, to set you floating on the tide. Hush-a-bye, my dearie. Kitty is 49 this year. 49. Those of you who are used to seeing me on these little episodes that I do will undoubtedly have noticed the gap in my teeth. I lost a crown day before yesterday, and I had a real battle with my vanity as to whether to cancel the show today because I couldn't get a dental appointment. But I thought, well, I'm in my second childhood, and I'm constantly battling my inner child. So why not look like a grown-up version of a child waiting for the tooth fairy? I hope it doesn't bother you. Rhythm, repetition, singing at a low pitch, being gentle, and strangely enough, the promise of gifts and food in lullabies. The language, promising a little baby pretty little horses, promising a baby cake when a couple of years from then you'd be trying to get it to eat carrots. So when I was 8, I got a lovely baby sister, Penny, and I had been sung to sleep with lullabies myself, as had my younger sister Barbara. And so I just sang Penny every lullaby that I knew. Some of them were very short, very, very short. Go to sleep, go to sleepy little baby. When you wake, you'll have cake and all the pretty little horses, blacks and bays, dapples and grays, all the pretty little horses. So you do that verse 20 times, and then you'd want a different one. Baby dear, don't you cry. Daddy will come home by and by. Mama is making you cakes to eat. Now, when a baby is small and doesn't understand a lot doesn't have vocabulary or understand speech, you can put anything into a lullaby, anything. And one of the main things people do in lullabies is they put their hopes, their dreams, their ambitions, their whatever it is, their curses into a lullaby. This is a short piece made by Bob Bosson, who lives in Vancouver Island, off Canada. He calls it the Deterrence Lullaby. Hush now, little baby, the Sandman's drawing near. Nobody's gonna harm you, Dad will be right here. And Daddy's got a 48, he's got an M16, he's got a 12-gauge shotgun and a Thompson submachine, a Magnum and a Mauser and a stash of TNT. Nobody's gonna harm you. Hush now, go to sleep. I learned a new form of lullaby, if you want to call it that, in 1956 when I went to Paddy Tunney's house in the west, I think it was Letterkenny in Ireland. And he's an iconic Irish singer, Tunney. Look him up, absolutely extraordinary, and all of it unaccompanied. He and his wife Sheila had just had their first baby, a boy, who he was beautifully made, and he was big, and he was about 6 months old, and he was using his lungs. Sheila was trying to calm him this way, which of course gets rid of wind when you pat them over your shoulder, and the little one wasn't having it. So all of a sudden, she just lifted him up and she whammed him down on her knees. You could practically hear it, on his belly, which probably helped to get rid of the wind, which was making him cry anyway. But she held his head in her left hand, and with her right hand, she whacked his bottom like this. And she began singing a diddly dee dee diddly diddly dum dee dum dee diddly dee dee dee. But she did it much better than I do. Dee 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 dee. And his little head was just going like this, and gradually it slowed down, and the little fellow was asleep. So rhythmic singing, possibly with no words. I think they call that diddling or doodling in Ireland and in Scotland. But we have a number of lullabies that go quite fast. Or I used to do this with the boys and with Kitty and with Penny and with little Barbara. It's called What'll We Do with the Baby-O? What'll we do with the baby, oh? What'll we do with the baby, oh? What'll we do with the baby, oh? When she won't go to sleepy, oh? Rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby. What'll we do with the baby, oh? What'll we do with the baby, oh? Wrap him up in calico, give him to his daddy, oh. Rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby. What'll we do with the baby, oh? What'll we do with the baby, oh? Wrap him up in a tablecloth, throw him up in the old hayloft. Rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby. What'll we do when the baby cries? Stick my finger in the baby's eyes. Tell his daddy when he gets home, give old Blue his chicken bone. Rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby. What'll we do with the baby, oh? What'll we do with the baby, oh? Dance him north, dance him south, put a little moonshine in his mouth. Rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby, rockin' by the baby. That one's fun to sing. I like that one. Yeah. Of course, one of the features of lullabies is talking to the child about the mother's life, because it was usually mothers who sang lullabies. And the mother's life, we all know that a mother's life, you never stop. The work is never, ever done. It had her problems, and Daddy was sometimes there too, but Daddy was usually away working, um, like, um, like, bye, oh baby, bye, bye, oh baby, bye. Daddy's gone to the mailboat, Daddy's gone to the mailboat, bye. And you could have mothers going to the mailboat, sisters going to the mailboat, third cousin by a fourth marriage goes to the mailboat, etc. Sometimes it was a bit more specific than that and included wages and hard life. Hush da 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 da, hush da day, times is getting hard. $1 a day is all they pay for work on the boulevard. Hush da 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 da, hush da day, times is getting hard. What can you buy with $1 a day and work on the boulevard? There's a nice song on our last CD, Everything Changes. It was written by my second son, Callum. It's entitled Go to Sleep, and it has its main hook line is, go to sleep, your mother is sleeping. In other words, your mother has managed to sleep, so this is a good time for you to sleep. Psychology on a kid that probably doesn't even have any language yet. I found a number of ways of keeping myself awake when I had those long sessions of trying to get Kitty to sleep. One of them was just making up nonsense and making up new parts of old songs. You all know the song, Hush Little Baby, Don't Say a Word. Hush little baby, don't say a word, Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Well, I just would have fun trying to make up new rhymes and new things to promise. So let's try and see what happens. Sometimes I get stuck and just start laughing, and the baby wakes up again. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you an oxen yoke. If that oxen yoke don't run, Mama's gonna buy you a cinnamon bun. If that cinnamon bun tastes good, Mama's gonna buy you a cord of wood. If that cord of wood don't burn, Mama's gonna buy you a lesson to learn. If that lesson to learn's too hard, Mama's gonna buy you a new backyard, etc. I'm just making those ones up. It's just you find a new adjective, then a new noun. Give it a try. It's quite fun. I sometimes do it when I'm walking down on my walks in the afternoon down by the lock in Oxford. With Neil and Callum, our first two children, who came 4 years apart, they loved the long ballads, the long story songs, most of them gory, full of murder, violence, even killing of babies. Neil would usually listen to the whole thing and then just drift off to sleep. Callum would fight to keep himself awake and ask for another one. Of course, by the time you've sung 2 or 3 of the really long ballads, you're really hypnotizing yourself. So you'd try and leave a verse out here and there. We used to try that with Callum, and what would happen is you've sung all the way through, and you have missed a verse, and there's not a peep out of the little one, and he's about 4 or 5, and you're just getting up and creeping out of the room, and this little voice comes, "Mom, you forgot the verse where the wife meets the new girlfriend." Yeah, that's wonderful. So I think you guys are good listeners, so I'm going to sing a longer song now. It's one that was made up by my daughter-in-law, Kate St. John, and myself. It's made out of the words, I'm trying to make this short for you, otherwise I'll be talking you to sleep. It was made out of the words of 2 Filipino women. At one point, before lockdown, I was having some help with cleaning the house. I say help. They were doing most of it. I loathe it. Most people do. So they were cheerful. They came one by one. They were cheerful and they smiled and sang while they were working. And I started recording them about their lives. And one of them had been here for 7 years without being back to the Philippines. And she was cheerful because she says, I put my daughter through university with cleaning houses. They spoke so eloquently that Kate and I made a song from their words. It's called Lullabies for Strangers. And it's on our new album, First Farewell. I hate giving commercials, but this CD, and we're really proud of it, has a lot of work by me solo and by me with Callum, me with Kate, me with Neil. And it's got some very unusual songs on it. But this is Lullabies for Strangers. Oh, by the way, the CD is not out till April 9th. Lullabies for Strangers. I live in a room in a cold country. 7 years I live alone. 7 years away from you. I care for children in a stranger's home. When I tie their shoes, I think of you. When I comb their hair, I think of you. I give them love, they take my hand. I sing our songs in this strange land. Lullabies for a stranger's children. Who sings for my own little birds? Sing lullabies in a foreign land where no one understands. No one. Here the dark nights come so early. Now I'm free to close the door, free to sit and sing to you. kissing shadows, ever wanting more. For you I'm here in this cold country. For you I work and live alone. So you won't have to leave your children and wish you had a heart of stone. Lullabies for a stranger's children, who sings for my own little birds. Sing lullabies in a foreign land where no one understands. Da 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 I stand at the bus stop and stare at the sky. Maybe soon, maybe someday I will fly away to my own little birds. Fly away, lady bird, fly away home. Never have to leave your children and wish you had a heart of stone. Lullabies for a stranger's children, who sings for my own little birds. Sing lullabies in a foreign land where no one understands. Good, you stayed awake. It was a pleasure to sing all those old songs and have those nice memories. Hope it gave you some nice memories too, and maybe gave you some songs that you can sing to your own children. Listen, that was my clock telling me it's time, that it's time to say goodnight to you, and see you in the morning.